So welcome to day 20th of my leukemia journey. Today was a day, it's a Saturday, so it's a day off from the hospital. I get 3 of those in a row. So usually those are nice recuperative days. I get to sleep, I get to rest and put myself together for the next appointment. It was a little bit of a challenge this time because they put me on a lot of steroids. So that's interfering with my ability to sleep. I didn't nap today. I didn't sleep as much as I usually do. And I struggled with that a little bit. I didn't have any of the other side effects from hormones that they talked about. Didn't have any irritability. Didn't have any of that. Appetite, it does help the appetite, which my appetite's been pretty good, but it probably increased that. But it has impacted my sleep negatively. So I'm only on 3 days of that. So hopefully that should go pretty easy. Today was a beautiful day, and so I decided to try to take a walk. Well, I did take a walk. Normally, I do 4 or 5 laps around the park, and this time I made it 1/2 lap. That puts me at like somewhere between 10 and 25% of my normal capacity, and I had to sit and rest and breathe before going back to the car. So that was humbling. Being able to do just barely a tenth or up to a quarter of my usual walk, but got to start somewhere. And the next 2 days are supposed to be nice, so I'll get 2 more shots at it. Hopefully, it'll get better, and if not, it's still good. I've definitely had some atrophy in my muscles. I don't recognize my own body anymore. So being able to walk hopefully helps the cause. A little sunshine and fresh air never hurt anybody. But it did bring me to the point where I was thinking about, okay, well, exactly how alive am I anyway? If you had to put me on a scale of 1 to 10, what would it be? I mean, I was probably walking around at 8 or 9 a couple of months ago, and I couldn't have been doing much better than a 2 when I got to the hospital. I did everything but code. I'm going to call coding and all that number 1. But I was at 2, I think. And if I had to guess now, I'm no better than 4. And that might be optimistic, considering my white blood cells and my platelets and all of that stuff that's really down right now. I'm better, but long, long way to go. Be an interesting question to ask the nurse, just on a subjective scale. I mean, if you ask me, I feel like a 4, but I have a sneaky feeling that that's deceptive. The symptoms that I can't feel are more dangerous than the ones I do. And the last to know when you don't have white blood cells or an immune system. You find out when something shows up, which doesn't take long. So there's something to be said with that. I have people visiting now. I'm still on quarantine, so I can't see anybody. But people are dropping stuff off to me, which is sweet. They're bringing presents. They're coming over to help out with the yard. They're just bringing me stuff and checking in and saying hi. And it's a mixed blessing. I love to see these people. First thing I want to do is hug them, and I can't. I want to be close to them, and I can't. We stand on the porch and we do like 6 to 8 feet distance. So it's lovely to see people. And I'm also aware that they get to see me and that I look different. They're seeing me down 40, 50 pounds from when they saw me last. And again, I feel like the way I put it earlier today, I feel like I said before, half me and half cancer. I think that's overstating it, but I feel like you're looking at me through a lens of cancer or chemo. I look at myself that way. And that's a tough one. That's a tough one to get past, your changes in your own appearance. Again, thankfully for me, I started out as obese, so I can lose 40 pounds and still be overweight. I mean, I guess there's a blessing in there somewhere, because a lot of people I saw coming in they don't have the weight to lose. They don't have that cancer crash in them. So that's an interesting point. Shared an interesting story today with a friend about the therapeutic impact of a hug, what a simple hug can do. And I'm a big huggy guy, so having that taken away from me is particularly difficult. Um, but a female coworker of mine who had been through some abuse talked about a hug that we had, and she talked about it in very kind and significant terms. It was very meaningful for her. It was meaningful for me, but I didn't appreciate the depth of meaning for her. Um, and now all I want to do is get in good enough shape so that I can hug her again and hug my friends again and hug my wife again and hug everybody a lot. That's a goal worth pursuing because I need that. That feeds me, and getting evidence that it can feed other people was really, really, really helpful. Um, and one of my favorite people to hug was one of the people that stopped over today, my friend Dale, who is bigger than me. And he's one of the few people that when we hug, I feel like I disappear into him and my feet dangle. And I have to have intact ribs or I'm going to have a problem. Um, Really frustrating not to be able to hug this man. Um, it's like you get just close enough to somebody that you can kiss them, and then you don't, and then it backs away. So that one's hard. The first visit that I got was actually from my friends Tom and Steve, who brought me a lovely pizza from Federici's in Freehold, and they also brought something else that I had never seen before. Apparently, these sweet, sweet, sweet ladies at let me get this right, the First Presbyterian Church of Freehold. They make prayer shawls on request, and my friend requested. Now I've only been to this church for um, weddings and funerals. I'm not a regular church attendee, but this comes. I'm not going to do it justice by showing it off here, but they handmade this. They apparently got together and handmade this in a couple days. And I want to hold it up close so you can see some of the detail and the color in it, which is amazing. And it comes with this little sign. Get close enough so you can see it. But it's a prayer shawl, and they pray to God and Jesus and the Holy Spirit. When I found out that this was being made for me, and I saw the pictures of it being made and being blessed by people in the congregation, including the pastor, that got one of the biggest cries out of me that I've had. Um, and I'm getting it now, just talking about it. The idea that people I don't know would take the time to hand make something for me and pray over it is an honor I can't put words to, a gift that I have no answer for. You say thank you. I mean, that doesn't cut it. Um, just the just being the beneficiary of, I guess, a random act of kindness. And I know part of my struggle is I feel like I don't deserve it. And the battle is to open up. And when you're in a beggars can't be choosers situation, all prayers are welcome, all wishes are welcome, all good thoughts are welcome. Everything that can come into the fight on the good side. I'm not a particularly good Christian. I'm, as I mentioned before, I was raised in a Christian orientation, but Buddhism is the path that I follow. But there's a lot of overlap. I think the closer you get to the top of the mountain, the more the paths converge, and the more divergent they are, the lower you are, in the understanding of it. But the idea of such a gift, and this was really early. This was really early in my diagnosis. So just the collision of me being in a position where this would be warranted, and that these people would take it upon themselves to do this for me, not knowing me, really, really touched me in a way I can't express it. I can tell you it got one of the three biggest cries I've had to date, but it was a good cry. It's a cry of people you don't even know caring for you and pulling for you, and that's a good feeling. I mean, the people that are around you in your circle should pull for you and should pray for you, but would think, but total strangers in an unknown, relatively unknown church. So I think I owe them a few things. One, it's another reason to get better because I want to affirm their faith. Two, I'm going to send them a video message explaining my thanks so that they can hear it from my voice. And three, I want to get well enough so that I can express my gratitude in person when that's possible. And I've also thought about where this shawl goes. This is going to stay with me through my journey until I achieve full remission or things don't go so well. And then I'm already thinking about the next stop for it. Hopefully, my blessings can join the blessings that have gone with it and goes on the next stage of its journey, regardless of where my journey goes, because my journey is not the end of this journey. So, so that was very humbling, and it's a new thing for me. So I wanted to show it off, and I wanted to acknowledge this wonderful gift. And there are many others. There are many other gifts that I've gotten. This one's kind of unique in its own way. So tomorrow, I think I'm going to make that video and make that acknowledgement and make that commitment to come see them when I'm better. I feel like it's the very least that I could do. And so that's what I got. Tomorrow's another day of rest, a little bit of schoolwork, hopefully getting my grading done so I can wrap up my semester. And I have family coming over tomorrow. They want to help out with the yard. And so that's going to be awkward having them do my yard work and me sit there and watch, supervise, whatever. I think you can get through this process. There's a lot of stuff that needs to get let go. Concerns about my appearance, concerns about my weight, concerns about whether I'm worth good deeds, people doing things for me, getting rid of my negative feelings around not being able to do them myself and accepting help when I am helpless. There's a lot of giving up that needs to be done in this process. And I'm sure some of them are common to everybody. And then I'm sure some of them are unique to me, based on my own beliefs and my own character defects. I believe I should be independent all the time. I believe I should be taking care of other people. I believe that I don't need help from other people. I got to dump all that stuff. I have control over my appearance. I have to dump all that stuff. Those are luxuries, and I don't have luxuries. What I have is a fight. I have a fight, a daily fight, and I can't be carrying anything on me in my backpack that isn't for that fight. And this stuff doesn't help that fight. So what does help that fight is accepting love, accepting gifts, accepting support, accepting prayers from all sides, accepting help from all sides in all its forms. Some of them are more glamorous than others. Some of them are rides. Some of them are yard work. Some of them are prayer blankets. So that's my battle. That's where the battle is right now. But I get a couple more days of rest before things get interesting at the hospital again. So that's how it's going to work. So with that, I will bid you a good night and stay tuned, and I'll check in tomorrow and let you know how I did with all this stuff. Take care and good night.